new customers today, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to touch on holidays. As people might have been aware from my previous vlogs, I was due to go on holiday, so I was on plan for a few weeks. Then I moved up through the steps, ready for preparation to go on holiday. I'm now back. I've been back since Friday, so I've been back for effectively 3.5 days now, because it's Monday. Now what I wanted to talk about was, as I say, holidays in general. What I've found is, usually I used to tend to sort of go on plan, go on step one, and then just literally right the way up until I went on holiday, and go on holiday and start eating, carbs and things again. So weight would instantly go back on. Well, I say water weight would go back on. And as I say, I'd be eating carbs and things again without having reintroduced them at the correct stage before going away. So what I did this time, as I say, I went and did I did the lower steps, then I moved through, and I'd actually come off plan at least a week before going away this time. So I went away, I was away for 7 nights all inclusive, and I came back, and usually I will jump straight on the scales that morning. I like the shock factor for me of knowing, one, what weight appears to have gone on, but also I'm fully aware that if you've come off of a flight, usually you've got water retention, and the heat from having been on a holiday and everything else makes you feel bloated. So I quite like a shock factor, so I usually jump on the scales straight away the next day. Usually when we fly, we'll fly home on a Sunday depending where we've gone. This time we flew home in the early hours of the Friday and didn't get home till 4:15 in the morning. So once I was up, I think about 10:30, I went and I weighed, and my scale said I'd gone up 3 pounds. So absolutely chuffed with that. More than happy to have only gone up 3, which will come off really, really quickly. However, what I did this time as well, having not landed on a Sunday, we started on a Monday, I had the weekend, and we'd already planned what we were doing. So I had the weekend off plan, weighed in this morning, so it's now actually saying 5 pounds up, which I'd be hard pushed to think that the extra 2 had come from what I'd had over the weekend, when I'd essentially been doing that for the last week anyway. But regardless, it's 5 pounds up. So what have I done about it? I'm actually going with another consultant to watch a concert in a couple of weeks. So I was initially only going to do what I usually do, and if I felt like I needed to go back on plan after a holiday, I would go back on for a couple of weeks. This time I've decided I've set myself a challenge. So I've set myself a 30-day challenge, which I've also given my slimmers the opportunity to join in with. And for my slimmers, what I'm doing is, there's a 30-day challenge where they need to be 100% on their step. So when I talk about on their step, so some customers might be on say step 3. I don't have anyone who's on a higher step than step 3. So some are on step 3, so they need to stick to step 3, purchasing their full products each week for the term, for the time of the challenge. And then my lower step slimmers, they move freely between step 1A, 1B and step 2, depending on if they've got any occasions or anything else coming up. So when I talk about them being 100% on their step, that's what I mean. So the ones on the lower can move freely between step 1A, 1B and step 2, and then my step 3 customers would be on step 3. As I say, nobody's on anything higher than that currently. Give it another few weeks and some will be moving through again where they're going up towards maintenance. So the challenge is basically they stick to their step for the 30 days, which started this morning when I started on plan, and they have to pick up the correct amount of products for their step each week. Now at the end of the 30-day challenge, everyone who has stuck to the 30-day challenge will automatically be entered into a draw, and there's a mystery prize for the winner. and I'm not disclosing what it is. As I say, it's a mystery prize, so you'll have to wait and see. However, it's quite a good one, I think. In the past, I've usually done other things where I've done blender hampers for competitions, for refer a friend, or I've done it on percentage of weight loss before over the course of a month. I've also done it for people who, or slimmers, my slimmers, who, depending, you know, who's sharing my posts and things like that, someone who shares relevant posts the most, or there's all different competitions and things that I do for my slimmers with prizes at the end. So that's what's running at the minute. I'm on the 30-day challenge, and today I've already had almost 2 litres of my water. It's now just gone 3:30 p.m. so I've done just under 2 litres of water, but I've only had one product so far. I've just been absolutely manic in the shop today. I've had 3 new starters today and a couple of my usual slimmers who've weighed in on a Monday instead of their normal day this week. So talking about holidays, going back to that again, so for quite a few years I would do what I said, and I would just put myself on plan, lower step, like usually step 1 for a couple of weeks before, and then go straight on my holiday. And I would always come back heavier than I did this time. So this time I planned it a little bit better. I was on plan, doing sort of step 1B, step 2 is usually what I like to do. So I was doing that for a few weeks, and then I moved up through step 3, step 4, and then off plan at least a week before I went away. So what do I usually sort of advise my slimmers with holidays? So the first thing is I like to try and move them up at least to step 3 if they're going away and they don't want to be on plan. Some people do. Some people want to be on plan. Others are looking more at sort of limiting a weight gain if they're coming back after and need to finish their journey. So they will generally step up to at least step 3. Now, I still advise while slimmers are away, if they're planning to come back and get back on plan again, then essentially if you're following the principles of keeping quite high protein, you really do have to be careful that you're not, again, putting in the alcohol or too much alcohol on a high protein, low carb plan. That doesn't mean to say that, you know, if you're off plan on holiday, then, you know, you're not going to not put alcohol in if that's what you would normally do. I'm fully aware of that. So it's something I discuss with my slimmers before they go, whether they're on or off plan, or whether they're just on a higher step, and again advising them the best way to stay on track while they're on holiday. Usually I will sort of say, look at, if you're coming completely off plan, look at trying to do higher protein, low carb. You know, look at things like scrambled egg, mushrooms, you know, things like that for breakfast, natural yogurt, and then at lunch, you know, depending whether you want, I think most people in the heat want a lighter meal at lunchtime, so you maybe go for some sort of salad or meat and salad, something like that. And then in the evening, again, look at having maybe some meat, some fish, some high protein with some vegetables or some salad. But on your evening meal, pop in maybe like a jack potato or a couple of new potatoes, something like that. Something that's going to put the carb content in. You don't really want to be looking at completely taking carbs out of your diet, so to speak, completely. You know, you're not getting carbs where you were having the products before. So if you're completely off plan, you need to be sort of putting a little bit of carbohydrates in. Again, that could be done where if you're having natural yogurt in the morning, you might choose to put in some fresh fruit with that, or you might actually think about putting a slice of toast with your scrambled egg. Whatever you choose to do, you know, that is up to you. As I say, it's something with my slimmers that I discussed before they go away. I've got a few slimmers who actually are going away in, probably most of them, it is in about 5 to 8 weeks time. So this 30-day challenge that I'm setting for myself and my slimmers is actually good timing. The other thing as well is it's coming up for the 6 weeks school holidays, which for some can be really challenging. It can throw you, of course, with days out with the kids, then eating in front of you all the time if you are on the lower steps and you're not consuming conventional food. So lots of days out, beach trips, things like that with the kids, where they're having treats that you might be giving them, ice creams, things like that. What can you do to sort of help yourself in those situations? If you're at home and you're doing things in the garden, you're having people over or anything like that, they're making things like slushies with water flavourings and ice lollies. That's a good thing. So if other people are having ice creams, then maybe like have one of the ice lollies. And if you go out, then look at taking your water flavouring with you, popping it into some sparkling water. That's quite refreshing. So as I say, it's coming up for the 6 week school holidays. It's a really good time to sort of look at ways of helping stay on track while you're going through having the kids off, or your work routine is completely out, so you're not really sure what you're doing. Sorry, little one's just come in. I'll be down, yeah, in a minute. Just give me a minute. Yeah? Okay, hang on a sec. Mummy's on the laptop. Okay, so anyway, right. So basically, to wrap it up, the best advice I can give is, if you're going on holiday or coming up now for the 6 week school holidays, start thinking about what you're going to do. Think about the best options for you. Don't just think about coming off plan, giving up. There's always a higher step. The higher steps do have weight loss, so it might be worth thinking about just stepping up during that time, the same as you would for a holiday. As I say, what I tend to do is I have a chat with my slimmers before holidays and like now with the 6 week school holidays coming up, and just sort of work through with them what they would like to do and what the best sort of situation would be for them to still lose weight, or on a holiday at least try and damage limitation or stay the same. I've had quite a lot of slimmers who've gone on holidays, took the advice that I've given, and they've come back, they've either lost slightly, stayed the same, or it is a minimal gain like mine was. I mean, £3 usually for me is off within 48 hours. I usually find that it is more a case of it's water retention from the flight and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to go and see what little one wants. She's just coming from school. So hopefully I'll catch up with you again soon. I'm aware that this vlog was actually, it's been a little while since I did the last one, but I was waiting for this opportunity to come back from my holiday and give an update. So 30-day challenge, this is mine, this is my slimmers, and I'll keep you posted. So hopefully you'll come back and see how I get on. Speak soon. Bye.